My grandma Pam holds the family together. My uncle Lee's the greatest, better get the latest. If we're talking about a car, Uncle Sterling got the latest. I strive to be live cause I got no choice. And run my own business like my Aunt Joyce. So Pete Rock hit me, enough respect to when they reminisce over you. Listen.
Cover. 나겠다. 아하.
No.
Okay, so we have a little break right now. We're looking for the next Harano.
No, see? No.
No, see. Look, the Harano is in fourth position at the moment with a score of 70.75. And here comes Kaishu, who is sitting on the bubble right now with a 65. Perfect visibility.
야, ちょっと見えないですね。
無理です。無理です。
In section in the good. Just video production. That's it.
I'm over here, down here. Yeah, I know it's hard to see me because behind me is the distraction of the world's biggest halfpipe, and we've just had the first runs from some of the world's best. But we're about to get stuck into the pressure cooker, the second runs to decide who is going to make it into that legendary night final. I'm going to jump into the commentary box. Let's get stuck in. So Ruka just checking his case there.
これはまずいな。
Andre Hofleck, just wondering about that one. Welcome to the second run of the semi-finals in the men's division here at the LAAX Open. And as you can see, we've got a little bit of an issue with visibility. If you can't see the top of the pipe from the bottom or the bottom from the top, then the judges can't see the riding. So that's why we've been on hold, but it looks like Kaishu Hirano, younger brother of Ayumu, is ready to drop in. Currently sat on the bubble in 6th place on a 65, so not a huge score, and certainly within reach of a lot of the other riders. Kaishu dropping in. Goofy rider boosting onto his backside wall. And there it is, the Hirano DNA on that backside air. Absolutely huge. Into the double, front 10, to the cab double 10. Not much amplitude, landed pretty flat on that second one. Front 9 just getting a kind of seatbelt mute in there, then whipping into a backside 12 and he dropped his heel edge. Oh, and the Japanese coach melts into the hoardings. He was really tugging at those, wasn't he? It didn't feel smooth. Well, I say that was absolutely incredible. Quadruple overhead backside air. Spectator just casually watching from down the bottom. 10 was nice, but he landed quite a long way down the pipe and it really stole some amplitude here. Barely a head height out of that one. And he popped off the wall again and landed flat, so he's lost quite a lot of amplitude. There's that lovely seatbelt style front 9. And really swings into the back 12. But he's too upright as he comes in. He just stands up on the heel edge in the transition. And that's all she wrote. So Keishu Hirano, long and nervous wait. He's sat in 6th position on a 65. There you see some of the COVID protocols taking place here. They're scanning the riders in and out of the pipe at the top and the bottom. Taylor Gold came 3rd here last year with that double chuck 1080. It's like a double chuck late 180, I think, but they call it a double chuck 1080. An absolute scorcher of the first run. Be interesting to see what he does now the weather's come in a little bit, whether he's content to sit back and just float through this run. Beautiful backseat, front side. Oh, and he's just body jarring that one. Big floater into the layback slasher. You enjoy this one. Lovely tucked up toe side. Oh, Tom Curran would have been proud of that. Lovely crail into slightly crossbone tail grab. Oh, what was that? I actually don't know what that is. Front hand over the top of the front leg onto the heel edge between the legs. Someone please tell me. Go and find me on Insta, it's Snowhead Lee. And tell me what that grab was. It's like a crail, but right back between the legs, like a crethard. Ian Mattioli, he managed to score, I think it was like a 40.5, and he actually landed his run. So he's got a bit of work to do, Ian. I want to see a bit more amplitude. There you go, a little bit more there. Hardest trick in halfpipe is going big, pure and simple. You go massive, you don't actually need the big spins. There's the backside 5, and he's just losing that amplitude. When you see him going up against the likes of Taylor Gold, Derek Livingston, Yuto Totsuka, he's at about half their height. So judges just can't crank out the points for this. Think back to what we saw from Keishu Hirano there, that backside air quadruple overhead. I'm measuring this from the bottom of the board, or the lowest part of rider or board. And he's struggling to get head high out on these bottom hits. But invaluable experience for young riders, so Ian Mattioli of Italy, chalking this one up as a World Cup you can use. So 40.5 first run, 40 on the second run. Next in, Derek Livingston out of Canada. Been a lovely slow burner, Derek. Gently been creeping up through the ranks. He's actually a really serious force to be reckoned with in modern pipe riding. What do you got for us, Derek? Lovely clean first run, 68.
Breathe it out.
I'm sure he can push it up a little bit. Coach is telling him to breathe it out. So skips in on his backside wall, powers through that transition into that front 12 to start off. He was a 9 last time. Lovely into that back 3 stale fish, into the switch back 9. To the front double 10. Oh, and he landed hard but drove across into that enormous crippler, I suppose, doesn't it? I was going to say front 5. Looked like super cool front 5, but there you go. Front 12. Little bit sketchy. I love this though. The stale fish back 3, coming in blind, then lines up this switch back 9. Saw this at Scotty James and Pat Bergener earlier. Switch backside, the hardest direction to spin, because you're coming on your heels switch, so you have the least amount of control. So 56.5, no improvement on that first run score, so not quite on the bubble yet. I've got to say, strength in this field is in the top part of the draw at the moment. Raibu Katayama, one to watch out for further down, as is Ryan Wackendorfer. Next in, Mark Schrott, out of Germany. Sound of 32.75. Front 5. To the backside 5. Oh, and he's gone for the front 7, just couldn't get the rotation. I'm all for getting a bit of experience, but you've got to say at this level in the pipe, that's an FIS comp or a Europa Cup potentially for Mark. Struggling to really hang in the same league as the big boys here.
Mixen dus man, first finale from Slovakia.
So Kaishu Hirano getting ribbed pretty heavily there by the Japanese coaches, I think, for that phone drop earlier on. Mid front side 10, he managed to have his phone fly out of his pocket. Ryan Wackendorfer goes into that big front double 10. To the cab double 10. Winds up front 9. Nice laid out casual style. Oh, almost stalled on the coping as he took off into that double chuck. And a very odd front 12, really laid out like pencil telegraph pole style. So there was the first front 10 into the cab double 10. There's that front 9, just missed the tail on it. Landing really low there. You want it, the high, oh, he's so lucky. That was a huck in my book. Definition of a huck, throwing yourself into something you're not 100% sure that you're going to land. Just send it. So, Ryan Wackendorfer, 36.5 to build on that 22.75. Pushed him up the rankings a little bit into 12th place, but still six points off the qualifying spots. Kaishu Hirano coming in for plenty of special treatment from the camera operators for that phone loss. So Kim Kang-san out of South Korea, part of the program that was started up back in 2015 ahead of the South Korean Winter Olympics in 2018. And saw them building some really, really strong pipe riders, Lee Min-sik among them. See what Kim's got. Nice backside air. Started off melon and then tweaked it round to method. Oh, just popped way too far off the wall there. Here we go. 5, 9, 10. So Kim Kantan on a 6.75, he will take that first run score. That holds him in 8th at the moment. Kaishu Hirano, the bubble man, will breathe another sigh of relief. So 20 riders in this second semi-final. We've already got our first semi-final done. Coming up in terms of riders, we've got Kiri, or Kieran Pershad, out of Canada. Lucas Foster, Joshua Reeves, Liam Gill, Benedict Bokstola, Iko Anai, Christoph Lechner, Yaroslav Lenchevsky, I apologize, Shuichiro Shigeno, and Raibu Katayama. Raibu Katayama, my pick of the bunch from that lot, I think. Let's have a little scout. Oh, look at the slipping crew. Perfect flying V.
Oh, what? Selfie time, all right, Kaishu?
Yeah. Definitely no respite. So, Kiri. Currently sat in 16th place. Gonna need a big jump up from 26.5 if he's gonna make it into the top 6. Cutoff is 65. Yeah, if you weren't watching or you haven't seen the scores earlier, 15-year-old Valentino Guzli, the Australian protege, took his master to town. Scotty James in third, David Blutzel in second, Pat Bergener in fourth. Valentino with probably the biggest and longest held frontside air I've ever seen. Whoa, Kiri absolutely sent that one to the moon. As I was saying, Valentino Guzli in first heat got a 95, 11 points, well, 10.5 points clear of David Blutzel in second. Scotty James on an 81. At the moment, Yuto Totsuka also on an 84.75. You've got to think if Valentino Guzli can carry that kind of run into the finals, it could be pure Cinderella stuff here. 1 point for Kiri. You all right, fella? Just checking that his femurs haven't somehow snapped in two. Lucas Foster, currently in 15th.
Anytime that happens, we do have the greatest, most qualified medical staff on hand.
So he's on 60 points right now. Not in 15th at all, he's in 7th. So he has got the finals at his fingertips. Beautiful back 5 with a little tweak there. He's got the amplitude. Front 10, to the cab double 10. Oh, just didn't, he got the cork on it, or the kind of vertical rotation. He didn't have any horizontal rotation. Lovely back 5. Body position was just settled and casual. And there's the front 10, just rolling over it in that arc. He's got the double and tail of the board, the one that's sticking out of the transition there needs to be underneath him. He just got stalled. So 15.25, case of what might have been for Lucas Foster. Got to say, the Americans are still looking for that golden protege. Talking of proteges like Valentino Guzli, someone to inherit Shaun White's crown. Just doesn't seem to be anyone coming through the US system at the moment, despite their best efforts. Maybe Toby Miller's the best shot, currently training with Shaun White. So a lot of time and effort being put into him. Tough to spot on the front 7 there. Harken flip or cab 7. Caught cab 7. Front 9 just landed almost in the flats. Say the flats, we were discussing it the other day, and there was a lot of chat amongst the crew that Jeremy Carpenter's pipe here, with its first cuts right in the middle of winter, as we are now in mid-January, barely have any flat bottom. As the walls kind of melt away and the pipe gets a bit wider, you might see some flat bottom developing, but it's almost like a single transition. Kind of pump it from one side to the other in one massive pump. Joshua Reeves out of Canada, 13.75. Next in, Liam Gill. So, does a little penguin hop. I listened to him in the lift earlier. He spotted a hard booter and said he was going to buy one, a carving board, and test it out on hard boots. As a pipe rider, it's not a bad strategy. I promise you, your edge control will be perfect. Front 9 to back 9, squeak those out. Crippler 7, interesting. Then Harken flip, sort of corked switch front 7. So, yeah, I wouldn't say that was his personal best, I don't think, and you could hear it from the sound he was making there. Nice method, but as we said earlier on, in pipe, it's all about amplitude. That's the first thing the judges are looking at. Have you gone big? And you can do whatever you like, but if it's low down the pipe, then the score is going to be the same. The hardest trick in the pipe is going massive, and that's what the judges want to see. So, 40 points on that second run. We get a good love your mum as well. He's been brought up well, hasn't he? Next in, Benedict Boxdoller. He's gone with the off-the-shoulder bib. Always a big fan of that. So the 65 does look like it might be out of Benedict's reach, but let's see what he's got here. Getting harder. Oh, lovely. Backside 90. Coming in switch. Right. Cab double cork 10. To the front 9. Back 9. It's landing really nicely up at the top of the pipe at the moment. Oh, the front 10, and he's dropped it. Disappointment. He had some good numbers there if you're literally just counting spins. We were cab 10. Then we had the front 9 and the back 9. So he's looking good, and then he was going to back it up with the 10. Decent amplitude. So 19.75 for Benedict Boxdoller. German getting a decent taste of World Cup competition here in the semis. So Iko and I getting stoked. Building the pump. Rio Aono, one of the Japanese coaches there, that man had a backside air. It's kind of the hallmark. A lot of people build a pipe run. When you start, you learn to do frontside air, backside air, then you learn to do frontside 540, backside 540, and then you might learn to do frontside 180 to switch 180. But it's like in Japan, the first trick they teach all riders is a massive backside air. Or a massive backside alley-oop in Iko's case. Lovely backside 9. Front 10, lovely flat front 10. They look so good. To the cab 10. Oh, was that supposed to be a 12? He'd already used the 10 on the previous hit. It certainly looked like he'd got a bit more purchase on takeoff, but throw the helmet away. Love that alley-oop. Tuck knee as well, if the arm goes around the back of the knee. Gives you way more room to tweak. Backside 9. And then there's that lovely front 10 tail grab. Let go of the grab a little bit early. Got hold of the nose there, though. Oh, I think it was a 12, but he knew he didn't have enough time, so his head stalled it, and he didn't commit. It looks pumped, though. Good on you, Iko. Christoph Lechner. He looks about 11 in that photo, doesn't he? He's gone for his snow camo. Possibly not the best choice today. Judge is going to have a lot of trouble seeing his upper body. Okay, shielding his head against that wind that's blowing across here. Switch backside air. Interesting. Into the cab 10. Oh, lovely front 12. This run's come to life. Back 7. Very rare trick. That was really, really impressive. Finishing with that front 5. Maybe an issue with the amplitude, but let's check this out. So he drops in switch. Switch method. The hallmark of Danny Davis and a lot of the riders who work under Benny Bright, Tora's older brother, the coach. So then we come into that cab 10. So he's going forwards now. And we get the front 12. Gets that tail behind his back, like Matt Ladley used to do. And the back 7 to the switchback 5. 57.25. Name worth keeping an eye on there, because that represents the building blocks of a very impressive run. To have that back 7 out of the front 12. Yaroslav Lenchevsky out of Russia. He's currently sat on a 46 in 10th place. Needs to find 19 points out of this run. I think we're on a hold. His current Heat 2 standings, top 6 qualify and join the 6 from Heat 1. Yuto Totsuka's in there, Taylor Gold's in there, Andre Hoflick, Ruka Hirano, Derek Livingston, and Kaishu Hirano. All of the top 6 have taken their first runs so far. We've still got Yaroslav Lenchevsky, Shuichiro Shigano. The one person who I think can upset the current standings, Raibu Katayama. But he's going to need some better conditions if he's going to do that. While you're here, let's get you some results from the first heat as well. In 6th place, Jan Scherer snuck in just ahead of Chase Blackwell. He also lost Chase Josie, one of my favourite riders. Ever since he came here in 2019 and did this 5-hit mirror image run, where he did double Crippler, double Michael Chuck, and then he did front 10 to switch double Crippler, switch double Michael Chuck. And you know he could have swapped it round, because he probably could have done the cab 10 in the middle as well. He could have done anything anywhere. Anyway, Jan Scherer's taken 6th. And then we've got Jose Okerson, Joey Okerson, sorry, Pat Bergner, Scotty James, David Herblutzel, and Valentino Guzli. So, interesting lineup on that side of the semis. And at the moment, they're joining Yuto Totsuka, Taylor Gold, Andre Hoflick, Ruka Hirano, Derek Livingston, and Kaishu Hirano. As you said earlier, Ruka, no relation whatsoever to one of snowboarding halfpipe's greats, Ayumu Hirano, but Kaishu is. Kaishu's the younger brother. Let's see if I inadvertently managed to do it. No. I was looking to see if I'd managed to make an elephant out of my tangerine peel, but I haven't. So, course hold, this weather coming in a little bit groggier, and there was talk earlier that if this sticks around, it could push the slopestyle finals back to Saturday, but this is actually earlier than was forecast for the storm to come in, so there's potential for it to blow through early, give us a little bit of clear sky tomorrow, which would be really, really good. There's the staff, observing all COVID protocols.
Not looking too bad down the bottom.
So 2 riders left to go. Just waiting for this snow and cloud to clear enough to get this run underway.
Yeah, back 40, sub 10, double 12.
North Hall, be left in, let's go, what we can see.
So 3 riders left. Yaroslav Linchevsky out of Russia is ready to drop. Judges can see him. So difficult conditions. But you got plenty of low light blue paint on the lip of the pipe just to help you with timing and shape. Lovely backside air to the front 7. The Harkin flip. Frontside 900. Just a little bit backseat.
Very nice, very stylish.
Oh, a lovely crippler to finish from Yaroslav. Doesn't look over the moon about it.
Let me tell you a story of my situation. I was talking to this girl.
Front 7, really, really nice style. Just needs to build the amplitude, as we've said time and again. It's no good having these tricks at the highest level of competition if you don't have amplitude. So, lovely McTwist there at the end. Plenty of positives to take from that run, but it's not going to trouble the qualifying spots.
2 riders left to top, ladies and
Shuichiro Shigeru. So both the Japanese riders, Shuichiro and Rabu Katayama, waiting to squeeze these runs out. And remember, they may not qualify for finals, but these are. You can hear the marshals there saying the judges can see you. We do know. Yeah, you can hear the judges making it clear that they can see them, but this is the start of an Olympic qualifying year. The judges, the riders want to make sure that they start this well.
Don't say it's up to you. It's up to you.
Wait.
Okay, they're giving him the choice there.
You can go when you feel comfortable.
You can go when you feel comfortable. Gotta say, if I was dropping into the world's biggest super pipe, that is not conditions that I would describe as comfortable. There you go, you see it from there. It looks like a different prospect, doesn't it? The contrast of the floodlights and the banners give it a little more depth. So, Shuichiro Shigeru looks like he's going to go. You can hear the judges saying the viz is getting better. That's the view from the bottom. You can actually see the start gate now. So.
They see very well. TV sees really good now.
Yeah.
Sounds like the marshal is a little lost in translation there. But the headphones are in. He's got his riding track ready.
We can see the pipe. They're the same conditions as other riders, so we need to move on to this.
We have to go, please. We have to go. It's the same condition for all the riders. Please.
Okay. Sending him out there. So Henry Jackson not quite as stoked on this run potentially. Giro from 14 manages to stand up. Into the 7, he couldn't hold enough speed. Front 12, 14 and a 12 into the back 9. Doing pretty well. Double jump, 2 flat. Oh, and that would have been good enough. No, sorry, double crippler, it was front side wall. Really, really disappointing for Shuichiro. Who does a 14 in this kind of weather? Makes a lot of sense why he was holding out before he went, when you see it like that. He's forced into that cab 7. Somehow he managed to get this 12 out. Both hands on the tail for a moment there. In the back 9. So close and yet so far for Shuichiro Shigeno. 35-5. Betters his first run score, but it really isn't what he was looking for. I think he had every right to feel like he could have made finals there. Robu Katayama, one of the seasoned pipe campaigners on the Japanese team. I've watched him literally serve in-flight meals on some of his first hits here. He can go so big. So there's the top 6 as it stands. Kaishu Hirano, Derek Livingston, Ruki Hirano, Andre Hoflick, Taylor Gold, and Yuto Totsuka. Can Robu Katayama get the crowbar in the scores at the last minute and get himself into the finals? Shuichiro get a little bit of consolation from the coaches. They are in the same bubble, no need for social distancing there. Raibo with a gaze and focus that looks like it could cut through sheet steel. The boy is wanting this one. Kaishu behind him looks like he's about to open up one of those fake spring-loaded clowns on him. Oh, the disappointment to miss out on that crippler. Okay, so Raibu Katayama almost ready to drop. Needs that 65 or better. Currently sat in 17th on 32.25. Hops into that front side wall, sends it to the moon with an indie. Winds up, front side 1080 to cab double cork 1080. Put it down pretty high up the transition. Lovely front 9. Backside 9, it's a really strong run if you can hold on to the last hit. Frontside double cork 10, so he had a flat 10 and a double cork 10. The same number of rotation, but I think the seasoned campaigner has done what a lot of the Japanese kids couldn't do towards the end of that heat, and he's managed to secure himself a spot in the finals. I think that's enough to unseat Kaishu Hirano. I think it's above a 65. Certainly a lot of height. Take a closer look at these. The front side 1080, no cork in that. Double cork in the cab 1080. Gets into this front side 900. Lovely nose bone tweak on that. Back side 9. Ooh, and he didn't get the grab on that. Interesting. It's the kind of thing the judges will pounce on if they think they've got an excuse to score someone down. Oh, Oh, 70 points. So it's pushed him at the last gasp into 5th position. Derek Livingston gets knocked down into 6th, and Kaishu Hirano, the man who managed to lose his phone mid 1080, has been pushed out of the top 7. Japanese team probably won't be too disappointed. They've managed to get swap one rider for another effectively, and Raibu's certainly got the pedigree and the experience to make it count in a competition like this. So, confirmation of the results: Yuto Totsuka, Taylor Gold, Andre Hoflick, Ruka Hirano, Raibu Katayama and Derek Livingston will make the finals on Saturday night. Let's see, disappointment for the other 14 riders. So overall, they'll be joined in the finals by Jan Scherer, Joey Okerson, Pat Bergener, Scotty James, David Hablutzel, and Valentino Guzli. I'm going to leave you now with the highlights from the men's semi-finals today, and we will be back here with men's and women's finals of slopestyle tomorrow. Have a great night. We'll see you then. There you have it, men's semi-finals tied up, which means we do have our top 12 finalists for tomorrow. And it is going to be a titanic battle between Yuto Totsuka, Scotty James, and the young upstart, Valentino Guzli, just 15 years old in his first ever World Cup, and he could be the ultimate Cinderella story. Tune in on Saturday evening to find out whether he can take it out. We'll be back tomorrow, though, with men's and women's slope finals. 8 women, 12 men. That one is going to be a banger.